death volley strategies, maybe some Reapers come into the mix, and Genji's still a factor.
Yeah, looking forward to the Reaper. I'm a big fan of the Reaper. Always love it. Hellfire shotguns. I mean, it just sounds sick. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're edgy. I get it.
Yeah. I wear dark makeup. I've got my room is painted black. Nah. Getting into it now, we have both teams set up, guys. The countdown has begun to start the action here. 15 seconds left, and already Florida Mayhem. We can see a bit of a change in strategy here. We got Zupe rocking the Ana. We don't really get to see her too often these days.
Yeah, it's very interesting because most teams are going to run a Zenyatta. Maybe it's a first point kind of thing and get that distance healing going on because look where they're set up here.
Yeah, they're looking to actually take the fight to him fairly early on. The high ground advantage here is what Florida Mayhem are looking to take advantage of with both tanks, Manton and Swoosh. Get that buddy system going. They're going to try and rain down destruction on London Spitfire as they push forward with the payload. But here it is, Birdring barely misses that shot. Tvik already under pressure.
Playing a little bit with fire there, Tvik forced to recall out of that situation. He's not really getting a whole lot done. Has to blink towards his team, so they've already swept the rooftop clear of Mayhem players.
And this is exactly what they have to worry about. Now that he can get around this angle, Birdring, he can start raining fire in, and you got to be careful with the headshots. That's a one-shot, one-kill situation in Birdring. Right now, he's kind of wondering what he needs to do to change things up. He doesn't have too much of the ult. It looks like he's trying to just change up the angle, and no, he will go for the swap.
Yeah, he's going to switch off of that Widow. No need for it anymore. A lot of the Widow on offense on this map is for counterplaying. A defensive Widow, they see that's not an issue. A boost comes out early on a Winston.
Yeah, that was a very quick boost. Some great pressure being put down here from Florida Mayhem. I love getting that boost on the Winston. You get that cleave damage with the Tesla cannon. You start roasting people left and right. But Birdring now, looking to get in on the action. He knows that Tvik is in the back line trying to be a threat. And Tvik has that pulse bomb, so we'll see when he decides to use it.
This is an interesting place on the arch. It's a game of chicken. If they're going to drop down first, or you can force them onto the stairs. But here comes the blade out of Profit. Does find one right away.
Yeah, there we go. Getting some of the impact, gets the reflex as well. That's going to put a stop to that. No messing around from him, changing up the angle, and Profit very mobile on the Genji. He's going to be darting left and right, as we can already see, putting the pressure on, and Dosen is going to be the one picking up the kill on Zupe, but Profit definitely had a hand in it.
And Zupe out of the mix. They're actually going to transcend as well. Zebo is going to get in there and bring Zupe back to life as a transcend because you push. A really good job of the Mayhem tanks making life miserable trying to push through this archway.
Yeah, this arch choke point really playing in from Florida Mayhem. I mean, Birdring trying to have a little bit of an impact here on the side. But Swoosh, he's got the Primal Rage. You can buy even more time with that as a delaying tactic. We're about to tick over 2 minutes here. And so the pressure is going to start ramping up on London Spitfire. They need to start making some progress.
Yeah, they used a lot of ultimates to try to get through this archway, and they just did not find it. Profit nearing another blade was the earliest they had. But here, this is a great counter to those blades and those flanking DPS players.
Yeah, I mean, now he is taking less damage than he's boosted. He's going to jump right on up, and there we go! Fist to the face, Dosen is gone. And the Primal Rage will serve to just keep pushing London Spitfire back. He knocks him back with every swing.
Swoosh is such an extraordinary player, too. He's played every single role, has transitioned into this main tank role as well, and his understanding and game sense is serving him very well.
So they need to figure out where Profit is coming from, and immediately Profit getting value. 2 kills for him, going after the squishies. That's exactly what he wants to do, and that's what I'm talking about. London Spitfire, they eviscerate the defense. In the blink of an eye, Profit with those 2 frags really open things up.
That's the push that they're looking for, absolutely. You think maybe you hold on to the nano-boosted Winston because he's such a great counter to the Genji, who's unable to deflect that damage for him. However, they saw their window there. London Spitfire now also have a Valkyrie ultimate in their pocket too if they want to press the issue, but it seems like they want to push very patiently. It's been a bit slow going.
They're not looking to try and crash into the defense too quickly here. It seems like they're kind of assuming what's going to be coming at him because Profit has given up that high ground. Going to go for a little bit of a peek again, it looks like. Just hoping to find the angle. And they will have, I mean, Zebasai is going to have his Valk very quickly here. Nuss decides to go for his very early on though, so this may favor Florida.
A very well-coordinated dive there has actually put a wrench into the plans of Mayhem. They wanted to get set up with the Widowmaker up top. They switched to Vic over to that Widow, and they get the aggressive dive. Everyone goes down.
And was keeping an eye on Zebasai there in that fight to see if he would decide to go for the wings or not. He decides to hold on to it for the next fight, having lost a few too many players there out of position.
A very smart restraint there as well, because now they should be able to have the advantage in the next fight. Valkyrie, one of those all-important ultimates, able to resurrect 2 people, you get chain healing. It's a fight-defining ultimate, and now that London Spitfire has used theirs, the Mayhem will answer in kind.
Yeah, I'm liking the style here from Birdring. It seems like he has freedom to just kind of set up his own game plan, set up the flanks. So we'll see when he decides to get into the fight. We got a visor getting used already by Logix, hoping to force them back, and he will! Just hamstrings him from behind. There's the reflex from Profit. Finally puts an end to it, but the damage is done.
Yeah, that's the fight that they were definitely going to win because they had that huge ultimate advantage, and these teams are so good at tracking when the other team is ready. So Spitfire might have gone into that knowing that they were going to get wrecked, and what you really want to have happen is force them to use that ultimate. You don't want to throw away a fight and not force out ultimates from the other side of things.
Yeah, looking to see where Logic decides to set this up. Sure enough, on that high ground, he can drop right down behind him. Perfect replay and execution here from him. And Prophet, well, I mean, he gets the reflect in the end, but like I said, the damage is already done, and Florida are doing a good job of stalling things out. We've ticked past the minute mark again, or the 2-minute mark.
It's such a smart response to a self-destruct from a D.Va. She gets out of that mech form and she becomes much more vulnerable. Here comes a blade from Prophet.
Prophet setting it up. He's already had a pretty big impact with the last one that he was able to get out there. And this time, however, he is forced back. Swoosh instantly going for the Primal Rage. He's got so much HP when he's pissed off. Not going to help him in the end, though. He does get clipped.
No, I mean, anger doesn't solve all your problems. I think
Really?
we've learned that. I mean, it can start sometimes.
Have you played matchmaking before?
Yes, sir, I have. They are going to get in here. They've gotten a couple of kills early on, and now that the Primal Rage Winston was out of position, they finished that one off as well. Getting some good damage in here, but here comes Tavek. He's able to take down Fury in both forms.
Yeah, with the back line, exactly. He's finding those sight lines, allowing him to get picks. They have to go out in the open here, London Spitfire, and they're really relying on either the D.Va or the Winston to get the shields down to try and create some space to cut him off. And it looks like it's just going to be the straight dive all the way up onto the top, trying to put the pressure on. Birdring looking for a target right now, and he's going to farm quite a bit of energy off of this D.Va. He's just flying up to that pulse bomb as quick as can be.
Well, he's finally able to take out Tavik, so at least they don't have to worry about the sniper presence on the map, as Fury does get himself a couple of kills. It forces Zebo to burn out this Valkyrie. This needs to be a fight Florida wins, otherwise these ults are for naught.
Now, well, like, whoa, is he going to make it? Birdring, so close with the blink. He's able to get around the corner just in time. And he's already used his pulse bomb. Doesn't matter. He's already up to 37% again. No problem. He'll farm them so quickly. That's what I really like to see in Tracer players. You know, don't hold on to the pulse bomb too long. Just use it instantly and just start farming the next one and hope to get a kill.
Every second you're holding is the second you're not building it. It's why you see them toss it out just like that. And all of the support ults have been used on both sides of things. Spitfire's last best hope is Prophet using another blade.
This is it, and he's got to deliver now because there is hardly any time left on the clock. They need to be touching that payload, and nobody is on it. Prophet, too focused on the frags. And somehow Florida Mayhem, they have not even allowed London Spitfire to pick up the second point here on Dorado.
Those Dragon Blades are so critical to get that first kill because he dashed in, misses that kill. What happens when you get a kill with Genji in the blade, your dash gets reset and you can go after it again. You saw him looking almost flabbergasted, like, what do I do now? He just sat in the corner, off the cart, and that is going to be a non-second point completion for London. A little bit surprising.
Yeah, a little bit of a stumble here at first from London. But, I mean, the question is whether it is, I mean, this is a 4-map series, keep in mind. And we saw this yesterday as well. Seoul, you know, they kind of looked a little shaky versus Dallas to start things off on the first map. And then obviously, you know, the map took up from there. It looked like they went into overdrive. So we'll see. London, they seem to be the favorites in this matchup, but right now, Florida Mayhem are putting up a good fight.
Yeah, I really liked what Mayhem did as far as adjusting from first point to second point. I think it's always a mark of a good team that you're ready to make the transition, that those calls are in place, you know that this is what we want to run on second. You saw Tavik switch over, you saw Logix go onto the 76, and once they were entrenched in that defensive position, they did good. Also, the tanks just created a lot of space. Like, tanks often get overlooked, but Swoosh was a constant source of menace in the back line.
You've been hearing it more and more from the players, podcasts, interviews. You know, a lot of the focus is on the tanks these days.
Yep.
A lot of them say, well, DPS, they are getting a little overshadowed by the support roster, by the tank roster, and the space that those two managed to create around them. But we'll see. Swoosh, you got him now.
Well, Swoosh is in a unique position as he used to be a DPS, and I think that can really help you out of knowing where they want to go, what you want to do. He understands that mindset.
No, that's solid. I mean, what do you think about the defense? Well, we'll be getting into the map momentarily here. Obviously, we're going to get that crowd shot. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. So happy to have you here. But this is going to be the second half of our first map. So now we have the team swapping over. London Spitfire are on the defense. Florida on the offense. They're going to be the ones trying to push forward the cart. We'll see if they're better at it than Spitfire.
It's a really aggressive defense. Everyone is up on that one rooftop. They're going to run a Junkrat on this. It's going to create all sorts of chaos, and Widow will thrive on cleaning up that chaos as people jump into sight lines.
Exactly. Rain down the grenades onto the cart. Swoosh already forced to use his barrier as well. That's not going to help things here. They have to be a little bit worried now about the Widow, but Tavik is in action as well. He's hunting right now, and he will find a shot, just farming up some energy. gonna do too much damage versus that Winston unless he gets a headshot, but that's the key frag that he needed to hit, and he doesn't get it. Birdring survives.
Just lives by the millimeters, not actually finishing that fight right there. This could be interesting. Tavik is going for this enormous flank on the right-hand side with a grapple hook, try to get himself behind the opponent team as the Widowmaker.
Oh, no, he's so close.
They finished him.
They do get it. Logix gets it, and that's the Mercy kill down. No res is possible here. That's a key frag picked up for Florida Mayhem, and they are making great progress now. It's something like London Spitfire. They don't want to have anything to do with this. Without their blonde healer, it's not happening.
Yeah, they absolutely is. She tried to fly to safety, but she only found the loving arms of Logix right there. Unfortunately, he plays for the Mayhem, able to finish that off. And you lose a Mercy early on in a fight like that, that fight is essentially over. Florida has to know they have a little bit of an advantage now because their healer's been alive longer, so the ultimate advantage in favor of Zebosai rather than Nuss.
Yes, exactly. More energy gain. So Zebosai will have the wings for this next fight if he wants it. Manitin is getting very close to the self-destruct as well. And there we go. We have the wall hacks coming in. Vic. Now they can see through walls. This is a good advantage here for Florida Mayhem, and especially for Vic to try and predict those shots. And so London Spitfire, they definitely know what's going on here. They have to know. We have to be careful about our sightlines here and not give Vic a shot.
And this becomes another game of chicken. Do you want to even attempt to take away the high ground or just force the defending team to drop down and deal with you? Otherwise, you just take all this free progress on the cart. That is a huge rip tire that happened off screen there. Takes down Zebo, takes down Tavik. That is a lost fight for the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're going to get a replay of that action. It would be good to get a couple of frags in. Nuss now has his Valkyrie, though. We have 3 ultimates, but both teams seem to be fairly even now on the ult. And yeah, sure enough. Thank you to our observing crew. You guys are amazing. We're going to get the rip tire here in all its glory. They did spot it quick enough. Yeah. They did spot it, tried to drop it, but unfortunately, D.Va, you know, you've got shotguns.
Just not enough DPS right there from D.Va right there, and trying to get in, trying to destroy that tire before it can go off, but that's a full reset. A nice ultimate on the side for Prophet.
Yeah, and now Prophet swapped off the Junkrat. He wants to get it on the Tracer, and we'll see if he can duel it up versus Logix on the other side. Manitin looking to buy a bit of time there, but Prophet, he is doing work right now. 2 kills for him. That forces wings out of Zebosai, the 2 reses, but now there are no longer any reses here for Florida Mayhem. It is all out.
I do believe Spitfire has also used their own Valkyrie. They got 1 res off, but then they lost Nuss, so his wings are clipped. Still the brawl going back and forth. This one has been undecided as of yet, but it does seem a lot of yellow in that kill feed. I mean, Mayhem are gonna keep pushing.
You have to wonder, man, if we're London Spitfire, you know, underestimating Mayhem just a little bit. There hasn't been a whole lot of confidence in the Mayhem roster because they don't have many subs. Feels like they may lack in versatility. What we're seeing right now, I mean, Florida was just like, hold on, come here real quick, and just a nice crisp slap, you know, wake them up.
I've yet to meet a team or analyst who's overestimating Florida, so you'd have to think that London gets that vibe as well.
Oh, sick. The pulse bump doesn't pick the kill, but still Jester manages the plays, manages to follow up. Takes advantage of the damage dealt and picks up 2 kills for himself. And right now things are looking a bit hairy here for London Spitfire. They are on top of it, Florida Mayhem. There's the play from Nuss, trying to keep it alive just a little bit longer, trying to buy time, but it's not meant to be. And Florida Mayhem will be picking up the first map.
All right, a little unexpected. Some predictions have already gone down in flames.